Tome of Magic is one of my favorite D&D 3.5 books. This book introduced 3 new magic systems: Pact Magic, Shadow Magic and Truename Magic. All 3 have excellently written flavor, but the book was released relatively late in the system's lifetime, and it seemed that Wizards of the Coast did not care for such things as playtesting or quality control. Because of that, only Pact Magic was mechanically good. Shadow Magic was pretty bad, and Truename Magic was quite literally unplayable. I have already covered my take on using Shadow Magic in GURPS, and I'm also currently reworking my old conversion of Pact Magic. But I have yet to talk about Truename Magic in GURPS. In D&D, the Truenamer was a separate class, who could cast Truename spells. Every creature, object or location had its own true name that had to be researched, and the casting depended on the true speech skill, because pronouncing the true names is very difficult. The fun thing about Truename Magic was that each spell could be cast normally or in reverse, producing opposite effects. However, due to certain mechanics that made casting more difficult with each successive casting, and the scaling of the true speech checks, the class was pretty much unplayable. So how do we do it in GURPS in a way that is playable? At first, I converted Truename Magic in a very similar way to the source material, just as an array of sorcery spells, but it really lacked in identity. It was way too similar to normal spellcasting, I didn't actually use the true names that much. Then I decided that this is one of the cases where I should adapt the concept less literally, and instead of creating a separate spellcasting tradition, allow using true names to any spellcaster, be they arcane, divine, nature or psychic. But how do I do it? Using true names in spellcasting is described on page 245 of GURPS Thaumatology, where it works sort of like a setting switch. Depending on which name you know, you get a bonus from +1 to +4. But if I simply allow these true name modifiers, then all spellcasters become true namers, and I do not want that. I want it to be something special that only select few spellcasters can do. Fortunately, there is an article called Names Have Power in Pyramid 3-114 that explores this concept in much more detail and provides guidelines for all existing magic systems. As you probably know, I prefer using magic as powers, so I'll focus on that. An ability or spell that wants to benefit from true names must have one of the following modifiers: named attack, plus 15% for abilities that use true names for better control, named target, plus 5% for malediction type attacks, name required, minus 5% for attacks where knowing the name helps and not knowing the name makes the power nearly impossible to use. And this is how I wanted to use these, at least in theory, because so far no one has ever played a true naming character in my games. However, now that I am writing the script for this video, I see that this is not even legal by the rules. Attacks and maledictions are not compatible with reliable, and accurate merely improves accuracy and not the roll to hit. Let's think back to GURPS powers. Is there a way to give a bonus to all rolls made with abilities of a certain power, regardless of whether they are attacks, maledictions or anything else? Yep, that's power talent. So now I suggest simply doing away with these modifiers and instead requiring characters to take 4 levels of talent. Modified with accessibility requires true name of target, minus 80%. This ability will cost 4 points if your talent costs 5 points per level, or 8 points if your talent costs 10 points per level. That sounds more sensible and streamlined now, and you don't have to modify the actual abilities. However, there are some other nuances that I like to mention. When casting a spell using a true name, you have to use the verbal component to actually pronounce the name. If you are using sorcery with alternate rituals, then this will limit your options. If not, then this is an additional component. When rolling a critical failure on a casting roll, use the reality warping table from GURPS Thaumatology. This is just a flavor thing. You are tampering with the fabric of the universe after all. And Truenamers cannot combine powers with other spellcasters, even other Truenamers. I just don't think it would be appropriate. Each Truename is a perk that the caster must research, using the rules described under Research. That's page 13 of Pyramid 3 114. But usually even a name less specific than a Truename can be used to receive a bonus. Bonuses are described in more detail in the Other Names sidebar on page 14. If you are using any other magic system, be it magic as skills, ritual path magic, syntactic magic or anything else, you can also get some rules from this article, and they work better than for magic as powers. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.